One small query caused a national report to fail at 8 a.m. Nobody knew why until we checked the logs. If you're a beginner, it's totally normal to write select all from table. I did it too. Everyone does. It works, it gives you results, and at first, that's all that matters. But once you move beyond the basics, that little asterisk can cause big problems. When you write select asterisk, you're telling the database, give me everything from this table. Every column, every piece of data, whether you need it or not. If your table has 5 columns, it brings all 5. If it has 50, it brings all 50. That asterisk is a wild card. It means all columns. The database doesn't ask questions. It doesn't care which columns matter. It just does exactly what you say. For quick exploration, select all feels convenient. You see all your data instantly. But behind that convenience, there's hidden cost. Because every time you use that asterisk, you're pulling far more data than you actually need. And that's where the trouble begins. You know, the best kind of learning comes from mistakes. Learning from your mistakes teaches you lessons. But learning from someone else's mistakes, that's golden. Years ago, when I started working with real data in my very first job, I was proud of how fast I could write queries. Select all felt efficient, until one day it wasn't. In a real production environment, that habit became expensive. An ETL pipeline failed overnight, a dataset didn't refresh, and a statutory report that should have been delivered at 8 a.m. went out late. The cause? A developer, someone on our team at that time, had used select asterisk in production. The source table had changed, new columns were added, and the ETL job broke. And here's the truth. This isn't just a beginner's mistake. Even years later, I still see experienced analysts and data engineers doing the same thing. Old habits die hard, but bad SQL habits can cost you or your company its reputation. Now, I'll be honest. If you walk into a job interview and write select asterisk on the board, as a hiring manager, I'd mark you down. Not because you can't code, but because you don't yet understand data discipline. Writing select all says, I don't really know what data I need. And like I said before, in real projects, that mindset costs time, resources, and money. Let's break it down. Why is select all bad? Reason 1, it brings everything. Every column, even ones you don't need. That means more data, more network load, and slower performance. Your computer's memory fills with data you'll never use. Reason 2, you don't actually know what you're pulling. If you don't understand those columns, how can you trust the result? Asterisk hides the structure of your data. It's like ordering everything on the menu. Looks impressive, but wastes resources. Now let's talk about ETL jobs, where this mistake becomes dangerous. Imagine you've built a pipeline using select all from source table. It works fine, for months. Then one day someone adds new columns to that source table. Your pipeline doesn't know how to handle them. It fails. Worse, if it doesn't fail, it might load wrong data into your data warehouse, silently corrupting results. That's not small. It can cause downtime. All because of one lazy asterisk. Here's the simple fix. Be explicit. Write only the column names you need. Just use what's necessary. This makes your query clear, predictable, and safe from schema changes. If you're exploring data, sure. Use select top 10 all, then identify the columns you need and sample those specifically. But never commit select all to production code. Good SQL isn't about typing faster, it's about thinking clearer. Explicit columns show that you respect the data. So next time your fingers type select all, pause. Ask yourself, what do I really need from this table? Because the difference between a beginner and a professional is intentionality.